And you can see right now, here you go, the outer rain bands now just hitting the outer banks. And Category 2 hurricane, do not pay attention to the category. That's not the important thing. The important thing is when it comes on shore, the storm surge and the rain. It's 205 miles east-southeast of Wilmington, North Carolina, 110-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving northwest at 15 miles per hour. Now, we've got two different kinds of tracks. We've got the National Hurricane Center track, which brings it just offshore tomorrow morning, 2 a.m., 105-mile-per-hour winds. Northeast quadrant, the strongest quadrant. Then it comes onshore, comes across Wilmington, and then makes its way into South Carolina, continuing Saturday on into Sunday. And then by Monday morning, it's just a low pressure system in parts of eastern Tennessee. The difference now between that and the European model, this would be the worst case scenario. It comes right offshore, makes landfall early Friday morning around Wilmington, and then comes inland for just a little bit and now continues along the coast. So from Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, down to Charleston, they all get that northeast quadrant and get that storm surge. And then what happens after that, we still would need to know. Extreme winds coming in. These are the impacts. You can see tropical force and hurricane force winds all along the North Carolina coast. These are the power outages that are possible. Near 100% from much of Wilmington on into Myrtle Beach, 70 to 90%, 50 to 70% as you move inland. The storm surge. This is the most dangerous part of the storm. This is where 50 to 60% of people lose their lives. With storm surges of 9 to 13 feet. Tonight, around midnight, is the one high tide, but the one we're most concerned tomorrow, we're going to be looking at high tides around midday, around noontime, all that water coming on top. And then there's the flooding. Look at this. First of all, there's that area, the storm surge from Cape Fear to Cape Lookout. That's the most dangerous spot. Rainfall, we could be looking at 40 inches of rain between Myrtle Beach up into Wilmington and just south of Cape Hatteras. Coastal flooding, unprecedented amounts. Let's go right now to my colleague, Dylan Dreyer. She's in North Carolina right now. And Dylan, Wrightsville Beach, what are you looking for? What's going on right now? Are you seeing any increase in winds or rain yet?
Well, Al, the wind is starting to pick up, but we can't even get to the beach. This is the base of the bridge to Wrightsville Beach. It's completely closed, as are most, if not all, of the barrier islands of North Carolina, because they really need to get people out of that area because of the flooding you were just talking about. So winds are increasing. Let's get right to the timeline as we go forward into the next 48 hours. We are going to see those tropical storm force winds move in through the morning. Those are winds above 39 miles per hour. By this afternoon, the outer bands of Hurricane Florence will make their way on shore. That's the torrential downpour that we're expecting, and that is going to last through the weekend, which will cause perhaps up to 40 inches of rain in some areas. Tonight, we have that first high tide just after 11 p.m. as the storm gets closer, so we could start to feel the initial effects of that storm surge. Then Friday morning, we've got the landfall perhaps around 6 a.m., and then just after that, another high tide around 11:30. So that 9 to 13-foot storm surge is certainly a possibility. Then all day long on Friday, torrential rains, that very high storm surge, and those hurricane force winds will be battering this area all day long on Friday. And then after that, Al, as you know, it's all about the rain as this thing rains itself out, and that could lead to even more freshwater flooding in addition to the coastal flooding we'll see out of this one.
All right, Dylan Dreyer, and thanks so much from Wrightsville Beach. Stay safe. Let's go back to the guys.
And now we should reiterate, people are waking up this morning saying, oh, it's a Category 2, like, phew, that's not going to be a problem anymore, but that is definitely not the case.